Khushbu Ejaz from Kinnard College, Lahore to please come to the stage and share her views on China's COVID-19 pandemic diplomacy.
Thank you. So she is not well, so I'm presenting major findings on her behalf. So basically, what China did during this COVID-19 pandemic, that it was criticized by the different countries of the world because it was Wuhan where the outbreak of this COVID-19 pandemic occurred, and China was criticized for not handling it in a responsible way. So China turned this challenge into opportunity, and China has very effectively used its soft power in order to change its image all over the world. So China in 2015 it has introduced its health Silk Road as well. So that program was not very much appreciated by the world, but during this pandemic, China has effectively used that health Silk Road program, and China has reached out to different regions of the world, and China has used two things, its vaccine diplomacy and its mask diplomacy, and then the digital diplomacy as well, in order to create the positive image of China. So as you know that China is emerging superpower of the world, and China is criticized by the West for so many things regarding human rights violations, and due to this pandemic, it was Western media has criticized a lot. And during this time, China has played very, you can say that the leaders have used this policy. I have used theory of soft power in order to, given by Joseph Nye, how they have used that. You can say we can apply that theory to the policies adopted by China. So as you know that these different writers, like as far as literature review is concerned, so I will just cover what are the features of Chinese COVID-19 diplomacy in different regions, and how much China succeeded in its diplomacy, and then how US responded to this diplomacy. These are three main research questions. So as far as literature is concerned, Roy has identified that China has turned this challenge into an opportunity. Then there are other writers who have highlighted this thing that China has been enjoying two major advantages. Firstly, it has access to open media of Western countries, and on the other hand, Twitter and Facebook is banned in China. So they have controlled the public opinion. You can say they have controlled public opinion as far as China is concerned, and they were the people have identified their digital media people as wolf warrior. So at the first place, they were criticized for not handling it properly, but they have turned this term into an effective digital diplomacy, and they have used these warriors as you can say social media diplomat, and they have changed the narrative of the world regarding China. So Kokirba has also identified that this pandemic has introduced different problems all over the world, and economic problems all over the world, and there was a problem regarding the use of vaccine as well. So in this regard, China has effectively handled this issue as well. So as far as research methodology, case study design has been used, and we have used purposive sampling for getting interviews. And thank you, Khalid Taimur Saab. He was one of the interviews who has been interviewed in this research, and Mr. Munir Ahmed, and one expert on political international relations working on China. So according to these scholars and according to the literature present on this issue, we come to this point that China's response to COVID-19 or the pandemic before COVID-19, they have effectively, you can say, faced the SARS pandemic, and then they have effectively faced this avian influenza in the past as well. And in that period, it was China was criticized for so many things, and China has put ban on all their citizens to move abroad. But this has then China collaborated with WHO and African markets and commercial investment strategies before this COVID-19 as well. So it has that contact all over the world as well. As far as Chinese COVID-19 soft power is concerned, so Rodolphe and other writers, they have highlighted this thing that China has participated more proactively in this pandemic, and China has continued its donation policy under the Belt and Road Initiative. And then according to China, as I have already mentioned, the launch of Health Silk Road. So China has effectively used that, and then it has established different health cooperation mechanism with ASEAN and Arab League and other regions as well. As far as vaccine diplomacy is concerned, China has provided vaccine to generously to different countries, and China has joined COVAX as well, and China then provided this vaccine to almost 80 countries of the world. And China helped low-income countries and gained international ground through its vaccine. It gained international support according due to this vaccine diplomacy. And then China has even given this vaccine to European countries, though the European countries have their health system has they have not approved China, but there are certain countries which have actually attained this vaccine from China in as an aid. So as far as mask diplomacy is concerned, China has given masks to all over you can say more than half of the countries of the world. China has provided them masks. China has provided masks to Pakistan as well. And then coming to next point is the digital public diplomacy. As I have told you that the term wolf warrior has been used by the Western media to criticize the Chinese aggressive and harsh media during COVID-19 pandemic. But China has very, you can say, as they have actually embraced this title, and they have asked all these warriors, the diplomats, and not just to use social media, but to promote, they asked them to promote the goodwill of China all over the world. So over here, they follow the policy of Mao of protracted war. And as far as different regions are concerned, China has provided vaccine to Iran and Turkey, and China has provided vaccine to Qatar, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia as well, and China has provided vaccine to Palestinian people because of the warring very difficult situation over there. As far as Africa is concerned, during SARS pandemic, China has provided African countries with the help as well, and during this China has provided almost free vaccine to most of the African countries. As far as Central Asia is concerned, China has provided vaccine to Turkmenistan and Kazakhstan. Okay, I am just concluding it. So as far as Central and Eastern Europe, so as you know that Central and Eastern European European Medicine Agency have banned these Chinese vaccines, and there was politics over the vaccine. But still, Serbia, Belarus, Bosnia, Herzegovina, North Macedonia, Czech Republic, Hungary, all these states got hold of Chinese vaccine. So it was a very positive thing for China as well. Next is the Eastern Mediterranean. In Eastern Mediterranean region, China has reached out and they have established COSCO in 2009. So they have provided lots of aid to Greece in this regard, and Bank of China they help in providing medical supplies and masks and other things as well. So coming to the conclusion, it was Chinese COVID-19 pandemic diplomacy is the success in different regions, and it has raised the international stature of China and as a responsible country, and that has caused the problem for US and US that considered China as the major threat. So coming to this conclusion, I would like to say that in the future there is a need to work on, there is a need for states to cooperate in these pandemic issues and to leave their vested interest or their hegemonic designs and to cooperate with each other in order to get rid of the problem which they were facing collectively. Thank you so much.